again, I mean, I think while we know there will be something created, that is not always, or in some cases at all, as important as like what it is you're actually setting and how you're getting it, right? Again, like this won't be complete, and the last thing I would want, and if someone wants to do it, like that's fine. But if we were really a top-down organization where like, you know, where I'm holding hands through this, like I would take away the template at the end of the day and be like, you can't work on it. You just need to think about like where you want your school for the next 2 weeks. And you need to talk about it with everyone, whether it's through enrollment events, whether it's through colleagues, staff, mirror, I think mirror is good, pets, and like see what just keeps coming out. Like what keeps coming out every time you talk about your school, or this whole thing about like scripting. It might just be morning arrival, like and going through your head like what is it exactly I want. Like I don't want kids to walk out of the bus into the cafeteria. Like that's not it. That's what happens at every school. Like talk me through like so when they're walking off the bus, like what's the first thing they hear? What's the first thing they say? What's the first thing they do? Whether it's their hands, their feet, whatever. And just like really thinking about that, and not get caught up in the playbook, the template, the guide, or whatever the exemplars. Like just take time to reflect on where you want it to be over these next few weeks. And yeah, you're probably going to be scribbling down and jotting down, and eventually you'll be putting it all together. But like again, it was purposeful to have Ben come yesterday and Morgan come today, and then not talk about this stuff collectively for a while. And I think coupled with that, you guys, and I think anyone that goes through this process, like we have a lot more time together planned to help this. So like there's going to be a lot more sessions around culture and academics and instructional leadership and coding and all this stuff that is going to be, like, you're going to want to incorporate it. So in some cases, I don't even know that everyone in the room has all the content, all the exposure that you're eventually going to want to get into this over the summer. So just keep that in the back of your mind. I know it sometimes feels daunting and you have these 4 pages with a lot of bullets and a lot of thoughts, but ultimately this is just a way to articulate what is somewhere in your head right now. Like that's really all it is. It is like putting pen to paper with what you fundamentally believe if you could create the best school for your own kid or your own niece or nephew to go to, like this is what you want it to be. So.
Exactly, and that gets back again to that third component of attacking this is like, what do you need to be really successful as a school leader next year? So not thinking about this playbook as like, what are y'all asking me to put in here? But like, what do you need? What tools and resources and plans do you need to have lined up that are going to help you be successful next year? So not thinking of this as like a box that you're checking, but rather like a toolkit that you're collecting right now before the school year starts off, so that you have it as a resource guide throughout the year. And this gets really well to the point. So if we flip to the section 2 school culture section of the playbook, you'll see this one actually has a ton of bullets. So I took this document and just bulleted out all of the things that are being asked of you. You're not supposed to be able to read this, don't worry. It's all on this piece of paper, but it's like, holy whoa, there's like a lot of components that you're asking me to pull out. What I would do in attacking this is saying, okay, what is really being asked of me here, and then how do I logically organize this in a way that works for me to start building out a playbook. So for me, I would do something like this, right? Like what's really being asked with these 2 bullets is to create a vision. With this one is core beliefs. With these ones are like, what are the systems and structures for kids that are going to reinforce and help me implement and reinforce my culture? And then these bullets are asking, what are the systems and structures for staff that are going to help me implement and reinforce my culture? So I would look at a page like this that has like a whole lot of bullet points and content and say, okay, there's really like 4 big sections here. Some of this work is work that you've already done, right? Like a vision, mission. And then, so really what you're doing in creating a vision and core beliefs is doing that big picture visioning, and then the systems and structures for kids and staff is the how. So I have this picture of what my school is going to feel like every day, and then I know how I am going to make sure it feels document that Mark actually provided, so I don't know Forte. And so I don't actually know what that school looks like, but one thing that I liked a lot about their document was actually the organization. So Alyssa, as you were speaking to, kind of just looking for some kind of exemplar that is well organized, I would say this is more so than the other documents that you've had in the past. It does have some graphs and charts in there that may be a little bit difficult to read, and we can share this as a different document as well.
I'll just do a real quick background. So Forte is a school that is tentatively approved to open up in New York. It's a Building Excellence School fellow, so someone that is in an incubation program. He is not a rock star teacher, never was, never really thought he'd be an educator, but he's tasked, or he has taken on the mantle of opening up this school. I think, and Morgan can speak to this, people that go through incubation, very much like an extended process of what we're doing throughout the summer, but it's over a year or 2 years, whatever the case may be. Those are often the applications where they are really drilling down to the micro level. I think it's especially insightful as you're reading that, like, this is not an educator. This is someone that is like learning about this stuff in real time so that he can either drive the ball across the goal line or figure out how this comes to fruition with people that he surrounds himself by.
Yes. So I would say things to look for, and we're probably going to do a little bit more skimming than a deep read as we do this work, again, because the packets get bigger and bigger. But I would just say look for organization and then level of detail or lack of detail. So actually knowing this is BES is helpful context to me too, because I think they are relatively prescriptive about their school model, and so dress code and discipline code often is very similar. If you look across several BES applications, they often are very much the same. I only pulled out parts of this application that I thought spoke to these kind of big buckets, right, that you were asked about in this section. So this, I wouldn't say is necessarily as comprehensive even as what you would want to do for this section. There are just some components in here that I thought were good examples of how to respond to some of this. So PD is outlined, but not in a lot of detail, I would say here. The discipline code and the dress code policy has a good amount of detail. So things to look for there. The second example here is again my friends at George Washington